bring in NBC4 investigative reporter Eric Leonard for some perspective on what we are seeing there, as well as what we're seeing at the mayor's house in Hancock Park. Two large crowds there, Eric. How do the police handle these crowds? They really do seem to change their tactics today. And of course, at the mayor's house, we did see a couple of large transport buses.
Yeah, absolutely, Colleen. The LAPD has shown the demonstrators today at multiple locations that the department is taking a little bit of a different approach. Officers are staying a lot further away. Demonstrators have been given a lot more freedom to roam through the streets of Southern California pretty much unchecked. The only time we saw intervention earlier today was when demonstrators looked as if they might try to walk onto the lanes of traffic in some of the freeways. And in those cases, there was some intervention. People were gently pushed off the freeways, and we didn't see any kinds of the confrontations that we've seen over the last few days. As far as what's going on at the mayor's Getty house right now, our understanding from a couple of our contacts, both in law enforcement and amongst the demonstrators, is that the demonstrators told the police, look, we're going to be here, we're going to say our piece, we're going to rally, and then we are going to leave. And they specifically wanted to avoid having any kind of confrontation today, nothing like what has been seen in recent days. It was really a main goal of some of the organizers of this event today to make a bold statement at the doorstep of Mayor Eric Garcetti, but then end it there and not allow any of the confrontations that we've seen over the last few days to develop there.
Eric, you have some inside information on all the arrests police have made so far. I think the number was 2,700 arrests at least since the beginning, close to 600 in Hollywood. Do we know who they are arresting, where they're from?
Yeah, we have some video to show you here, and we've gone through some police and jail records that show there's a growing divide now between the number of demonstration arrests and the number of looting arrests. News Chopper 4 Bravo hovered overhead as officers in Van Nuys chased groups of looters running from business to business, smashing windows, ransacking store shelves, and some being cornered and caught. Arrest data from the LAPD shows for the day that ended at midnight last night, there were about 93 felony arrests around the city related to the unrest that's been seen on the streets in recent days. Those booked into jail were held on suspicion of looting, receiving stolen property, serious vandalism, and conspiracy. Jail records show about half have posted bail or were released on their own recognizance. The day before, officers booked about 144 people on suspicion of felony charges related to looting. At the Hollywood demonstrations yesterday, officers made more than 585 arrests, the most ever in that area in a single day. Officers in the San Fernando Valley made more than 100 arrests. The majority were detained on misdemeanor curfew or failure to disperse violations. Almost all were issued citations to appear in court and released. The I-Team also went back through all of the LAPD's felony arrests related to the looting, vandalism, and arson since last Thursday. That's when the civil unrest broke out, and it does not appear anyone was arrested more than once. Now, that's really significant because one concern in the midst of the coronavirus crisis is that virtually everyone being locked up for a nonviolent crime was being released almost immediately. Courts and prosecutors agreed to set zero bail to prevent jails from being crowded with people who could then spread the coronavirus. A couple other interesting developments today. One is, as we've gone back through these booking records, we've been looking to see where people are from because there's been a concern, we've discussed it, that outside agitators might be involved in causing some of the harm, the violence, the looting over the last few days. But the booking records show almost everybody arrested is from Southern California, with a handful of exceptions. There have been really just 4 or 5 people from out of state. Lastly, in downtown LA about 1:30 this morning, LAPD arrested a man they say was dressed in military garb, armed with a rifle and a handgun. There's a lot of confusion about what this person was up to. He was dressed in a way that made him look as if he was a member of the National Guard, but he's not. He's been booked on suspicion of possession of an assault weapon, and detectives are still investigating to figure out what he was up to and what his intentions were. Back to you.
All right, Eric, thank you for clearing that up. A lot of people had questions about both those points there.